So I don't understand this. So were these Galileans extra super religious? That's why Pilate killed them? Or were they lousy and he just killed them anyway? Jesus makes it sound like, well, they're pretty lousy, and unless you change your ways, you're going to be like them and die. And, well, that doesn't give us much, does it? So either be super religious and die or not be super religious and die. So what does that mean for us? I don't know. Well, thanks. Well, there's a couple different theologies going around. There's a theology of prosperity. It's a gospel of prosperity. So if we're really good Christians and do the right things, then God will reward us, kind of like karma, and do the right things and we'll get all kinds of wealth or whatever our needs are. That extremely, I want this brand new Mercedes, and I'll get it if I believe hard enough, or if I do good things, and good things will happen to me, and I'll be avoiding all kinds of different sufferings. And well, our theology of the cross doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean we're going to avoid suffering. As a matter of fact, to be a member of the theology, to really delve into the theology of the cross, we'll probably suffer more because we'll suffer with those who suffer. We may not be in any pain or any kind of extreme whatever, but if our neighbor is hurting, then we hurt too. Or if someone needs something, then we'll try to provide it for them or help them provide it. He talks about the oppressors and the oppression and liberation, and we can take a part in that. He talks about changing your ways, and so what does that mean? We often think, I do anyway, I'm a black, one extreme or the other sometimes. All or nothing, which can be good in some cases, but more than not, it's not a good thing for me to be. Do I need to make huge changes all at once? Is that possible? Do I give up sugar and pizza cold turkey, or do I ease off on it and maybe hope for the best? Well, I'm finding in my life I've got to do it in increments, in small increments. Otherwise, I get defeated. I need little goals, and then I can achieve a goal and make another one and achieve that. And that's how I make incremental goals for myself and changes. I belong to a gym, and I go 5 times in the morning, sometimes 6 times in the morning, and at 5:30 in the morning, they're up, and some people are talking on their Bluetooth, and I wonder who's up at 5:30 they're talking to. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I see some new people, so I see some new faces that they made their resolutions for New Year's. And being me, I talk to people. Usually one-on-one. I don't like talking in front of big groups. This is nerve-wracking for me, believe me. Usually one-on-one, so I'll do a set and I'll walk just to keep moving. And I'll see somebody. I'll make a comment or two. Not take a long time because I only take a minute and a half, 2 minutes between sets. So I'll see them and I'll say, how's your workout going? And they say, well, and I said, you know what? I find that sometimes my workouts just aren't there in the morning. I have it in my mind that I'm going to be a Superman. I'm going to lift heavy weight and I'm going to go great guns. And I lift my first set and I'm like, no, you won't either. You're going to go light and you're going to go a little quicker, but you're changing your workout. Or I think I'm going to do some deadlifts and I'm going to just lift the world. And I get there and everything's used. And I think, well, now what do? I've got to do something else. I've got to be flexible and move around. And I tell people that. I say, don't be discouraged if you don't get a superstar workout in every single day. It's just a matter of coming in every day if you can. The consistency, you're going to have good days and bad days like we all have them, but I think if you just continually come, you take advantage of the good days, and you realize that sometimes you're backpedaling. You'll change your workouts and you'll do something else. But it's just a matter of coming in every day, and that's how you keep with it. That's how you can make the small incremental changes that you might need. You might lose a couple pounds, you might gain one back and then lose. That's just the way life is sometimes, and you've got to flow with that. So if Jesus is talking about changing your hearts and your lives, what exactly does that mean? Sometimes it is that a little small things that you need to do and just be consistent at it. If you're starting reading devotions in the morning for 15 minutes, just stick with it. Even though you're reading Leviticus and you could just care less about the different laws that are going on, or the sacrifice and the bull for that or whatever, just get through it and you read it and you just try to get as much as you can, but you're consistent with it. Before you know it, oh boy, I'm in Joshua and I'm in Judges already. And it's a matter of I'm almost getting through the Bible. It's amazing. Or you start to meditate. You meditate for 5 seconds, you meditate for a minute, every day, or then you go 5 minutes. Nothing huge. But it's that consistency. I see a friend of mine, and I have to tell you that I have a lot of people I admire when I go to work out in the mornings. It seems like when you get to know people, they're dealing with pain of some sort. I've got a cracked vertebrae. I've got a torn shoulder. I've got a back issue. But they're continuing to be there. I remember meeting Tony for the first time. He was on a bike, and I noticed, very overweight, but he had a little Star Trek symbol on his forearm. So, of course, I key into that right away. I said, Star Trek, I think Kirk was better than Picard. He goes, yeah, I know what you mean. And we started talking, and it finds that he's got a goal. He was at 475 pounds. And he decided he was going to change that because he was on several different medications for blood pressure, for sleep apnea, for whatever else. And so he made it a goal to be there every day. Actually, Tony was there twice a day. He was able to get there in the morning and then afternoon. And he watched his diet very closely. And you'd see, after a while he'd be losing weight. Well, he lost 250 pounds just by being there every day for 2 years and being consistent with it, I say, that's my hero right there. He has got a great attitude, and he keeps going, no matter what. I got a hernia operation. I have to take 2 weeks off, and I can only walk. Well, do what he can. We can do what we can. Jesus is telling his disciples, you do what you can. I see some results with Peter. Sometimes he gets it, but other times he just misses the boat completely. But after Jesus has died, you see that Peter has taken up the cross, so to speak, and he's preaching. Wow, for a fisherman, that's pretty good. He's made changes throughout 3 years and stop and go and fits and starts, but anyway, he's making things happen in his life. And we think, well, as soon as I make some changes within myself, then I can go out and make changes out in the world. Well, sometimes that's kind of a trap too, because sometimes we're never quite there as far as we're concerned with ourselves. Then I'll go out. I had a friend in college who said, once I get big and buff, then I'll start dating. He's 53. He's still not buff enough yet to start dating. I said, when are you going to, you look good. What's going on? It's the trap of, maybe it has to be in conjunction with inward and outward at the same time. Maybe they have to work hand in hand. My brother, a couple weeks ago, gave a sermon. He talked about the movie of Denzel Washington, and it was a submarine movie, and there was Crimson Tide, and they had a fire in the galley, and that's when Gene Hackman, the captain, called a drill. And Denzel Washington was his first officer. What are you doing? There's a fire. This is the worst time to do a drill, when there's a fire and people could get hurt. And Gene Hackman said, you can't do that when everything's hunky-dory, because in wartime, you can't have the optimal time. You just got to do with what you have. There is no optimal hunky-dory time. You just start now. If we're going to do mission work, we can't wait until we're all feeling good and all this. We have to start now. Make the changes now. And Jesus was saying that to his disciples, don't wait. We have a tendency to hesitate. And wait, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll wait till Monday or the new year or next month or whatever. And that can be a trap too. You're saying you've got the opportunity, just go ahead and do it now. Just like Nike, just do it. However small increments you need to do it. Some people can do bigger steps than others. Small steps work better for me. But Jesus is saying, in spite of that, the great things that God has given you, start with that now. Develop your relationship even closer. Start it now. And you'll see results. Maybe not right away, but you'll see results. You'll feel results. You'll see relationships developing and growing. And they'll be tough at times, but they'll be meaningful in your life. They'll fill you up, as the Spirit will continually guide you and fill you up as well, and give you what you need to continue your journey, to give you the hope that it's not all in vain, it's not all lost, even though sometimes you see it seems like it is lost, that God is continually there for you. And even if buildings fall on us or whatever have you, we know that God is with us and helping us on our way to whatever to whatever goals we decide to do for ourselves. And enjoy the fruits of the spirits, because that is what we often have when we're starting our journeys. And you used to see those bookmarks back there. Galatians 5:22, the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Was that loud enough? I probably need to say it louder, don't I? Not as fast. I have that tendency to do that too. But you can read the weather, but make sure you see the big picture as well. Always take a step back and see what the big picture is. You may be involved in something really good and spend a lot of time, but then your family may be failing. Who knows? You may be forgetting something else that's important in your life. So keep an eye on that big thing, that God thing that wants us to be blessed and to have meaning in our lives. Just get it done now. God is waiting and will always wait for us to help us on our way, because that's what God does. Amen.